Good things come whole and complete to the Chinese. In my home, we'd always have tangerines and pomelos, which are also known as Chinese grapefruit. They're widely displayed throughout the house because tangerines mean luck, and the Chinese grapefruit means prosperity and status. To me, they go together like strawberries and cream. They're good separate, but even better together. Oranges connote wealth and sweetness, and they're the ubiquitous hostess gift. So when you visit a Chinese family, take a bag of oranges and you're set, but give them in even numbers, and never, never, never in the number 4, because the Chinese word for 4, does anyone know? The Chinese word for 4, yes, I have a hand. Yes, because the Chinese word for 4 sounds similar to the word for death, and that's almost every dialect. And the Chinese are so superstitious, especially during the Lunar New Year, they never want to go there. Now, how many people here enjoy fruitcake at Christmas time? Any fruitcake takers here at Christmas time? Yay! We have a few hands out there. Well, then you will love Ningguo. And Ningguo is a glutinous rice cake that's the Chinese equivalent to the Christmas fruitcake. Ningguo is caramel colored, it's sweet, it's dense, and it's sticky because it's been steamed for hours. It's often found in Chinese bakeries and the Asian supermarkets during the New Year, and is typically decorated with sesame and red dates for prosperity, and a sprig of pine or cypress for longevity, and it's widely gifted or regifted during the holidays. Now, whenever we would get visitors to our house during the Chinese New Year, my mom would bust out a sectional red platter full of snacks, sweet snacks known as the tray of togetherness, and it would be filled with preserved seeds and fruits and sweets like sugared coconut strips and dried kumquats and sweet lotus seeds and lotus root and sweet carrot. And all of these items carry auspicious meanings, which I've also defined. But when I was a kid, I always wanted my mom to fill one of those sections with M&Ms, and she never obliged. Fresh flowers in the home are an important part of the holiday, and this is one of the times where the house could virtually be blooming with all types of flowers of all kinds, you know, potted, planted, or even cut flowers. And the most symbolic flower is the narcissus because it's considered the flower of Chinese New Year. It means good fortune and prosperity. But my personal favorite are the quince branches and the blossoms, and they mean splendor and prosperity during the Spring Festival, because this time of the year, the Chinese New Year, is also referred to as the Spring Festival. I buy them just so they blossom on New Year's Day. That's kind of my personal mission. Now, peonies represent wealth, and orchids mean love. And we also decorate miniature kumquat and citrus trees with small red coin envelopes. And I'll show you what these look like. With these small red envelopes, and we'd hang them on these little citrus trees or kumquat trees that are in the home, like ornaments. And these would be an offering to the god of prosperity. Also, the home is decorated with all types of good fortune items. There would be, and you know, I know you've seen, there's like couplets with famous sayings, good luck sayings, and the Fu character, this is what's hanging upside down, or Fu in Mandarin. And I see that over on the corner there, they've hung one upside down as this one is depicted. And the reason for that is in some dialects, the words for just arrived and upside down sound very familiar. So they hang that good luck character upside down because it takes the connotation of good luck has arrived. But in Cantonese, that's not necessarily true because of the connotation of the homonyms. So we hang ours right side up. Firecrackers are also very popular during the Chinese New Year. These are decorative strings of firecrackers, but I have to admit that, you know, in many of the urban centers, especially in San Francisco, and it is outlawed and banned, but the Chinese can't help but burn them because the noise changes supposedly the energy and brings in positive new energy. And so they're burned, and we get away with it in Chinatown in San Francisco. There's also red envelopes, the passing of Lai Si. Does anyone have any red envelopes today? Yes. Abby has a red envelope. And the reason for the passing of Lai Si or Hong Bao is married individuals give them to children because they are our future. And that's why children are also considered good luck to the Chinese culture. And it is a karmic exchange because married people, as they're giving good fortune of lucky money to children, it is anticipated that the good luck will be returned. And also the money is expected to sustain the children through the year. The denominations are typically $1. You know, I've also heard old aunties have given the denomination of what it takes to buy a candy bar. But it depends on who you're giving it to. If you're giving it to your own children, you might give a little more. So it's widely flexible in terms of that. Let's see. Lanterns are extremely popular, especially during the Lantern Festival. The last day, the 15th day of the Lunar New Year, is considered the Lantern Festival, and it is, again, the biggest block party of the year. You know, that's when the entire community comes up. It's the major escalation of the celebration. Now, has anyone heard of the kitchen god? The kitchen god. The kitchen witch. No hands in terms of the kitchen god? I'm looking around because I forgot to bring my copy of my book. Could I borrow a book? And I'll read a little bit to you about the kitchen god. Thank you so much, Rosemary. I met another Rosemary. It's so funny because rarely do I meet someone with my same name. I think it's so fun. But I grew up with a kitchen god taped near our family stove. And here's an example. And you know, he would get splattered and stained, and by year's end, my mom would just simply take him down and burn him in the fireplace. And I always thought it was a part of the spring cleaning process, but when I started to do research for my book, Good Luck Life, I found out that this wasn't entirely true. About a week prior to the Lunar New Year, on the 23rd or 24th day of the 12th lunar month, the kitchen god, the most important domestic deity, is transported to the Jade Emperor, the ruler of the heavens, to report on the family's behavior from the previous year. The kitchen god is represented by a paper image and is hung throughout the year near the family stove. Long considered the soul of a Chinese family, the stove is where all is seen and heard. To encourage a good report, families smear the kitchen god's mouth with honey or molasses to sweeten his tongue. They remove his image from the stove and then burn it to send his spirit to the heavens. Some families offer spirit money during the deity's burning and even dip him in liqueur to produce a bright flambe. When New Year's Eve arrives, a new kitchen god is posted to replace the old one for another year of observation. It's said that the kitchen god was a mortal named Zheng, a wealthy farmer whose lands and rivers flowed with abundance. Grains flourished in his fields, fish filled his rivers, and herds of livestock grazed his land. But Zheng wanted more. He took a mistress who drove his devoted wife away from their home. In the couple's excessive indulgences, Zheng and his mistress exhausted all of his wealth, and soon the woman deserted him for another man. Zheng, left with nothing, became a homeless beggar with no hope or will to live. So weak from starvation was Zheng that he suddenly collapsed, fully expecting to die. He awoke in a mist of fog, which turned out to be the smoke from the hearth of a warm kitchen that welcomed all who possessed empty stomachs. Noticing Zheng's poor state, the kitchen girl fed and revived him. Nourished and bound by deep gratitude, Zhong sought to thank the mistress of the house, who was about to enter the kitchen from the outside garden. As she approached the door, he saw the mistress through a window and recognized her as his wife. Distraught and desperate, Zhong jumped into the hearth just as she entered the room, and the flame of shame grew large.